Hello my friends, welcome to my Energy Economist channel. We're gonna talk today about the Petroleum Agreements and Bidding. So stay with me. In a license agreement, the government issues exclusive rights to an oil company to explore within a specific area. The operations are financed by the license holder who also sells oil production, often paying a royalty on production and always paying taxes on profits. Such a fiscal regime is often called a tax and royalty system. The government may insist upon an obligatory level of state participation. In a contract agreement, the oil company obtains the rights to an area through a contract with the government or its representative NOC. Essentially, the company acts as a contractor to the government, again funding all operations. However, in this case, title to the produced hydrocarbons is retained by the government, and the oil company is remunerated for its costs and provided a share of the profits either in cash or in kind, i.e. a share of a produced hydrocarbons. The most common form of this type of agreement is a production sharing contract, PSC, also known as the production sharing agreement, PSA. The geographic area of interest is divided up into a number of blocks by a grid, which is usually orthogonal. The size of these blocks varies from country to country and even from area to area in some cases. For example, UK North Sea license blocks are 10 by 20 kilometers, Norwegian blocks 20 by 20 kilometers, Angola blocks approximately 100 by 50 kilometers. The government will decide at its discretion what blocks it wishes to include in any bidding round, but there is often a geographic progression from, say, shallow water areas into deeper water as time moves on. The invitation to bid may come in several forms. For example, in the UK, licensing rounds are announced periodically by the Department of Trade and Industry, DTI, on behalf of the UK government. In 2007, the UK was offering licenses in its 24th offshore licensing round. In any given UK licensing round, specific license blocks are offered, and an interested bidder is left to his initiative to make an evaluation of the block. This may be based on speculative regional studies performed by consultants, made available for purchase by the author or on the company's own understanding of the block, using regional data, analog data, and any public domain information available. The invitation to bid may not be for exploration acreage. For example, some blocks offered by Sonatrach representing the Algerian government were for fields that had many years of production history. In this case, the equivalent of an information memorandum, IM, was provided to prospective bidders. This information includes post-technical data for the fields, such as the production history by well and an outline of the commercial agreement that would be expected for any participation by a foreign investor. Investors were invited to submit a forward development plan to increase the recovery of the field above the base case. The commercial terms offer a fraction of the incremental production to the investor as a profit element of their investment. in offering an exploration opportunity in a block. The motivation of the government is to encourage investment in form of exploration activities, such as shooting, seismic and exploration drilling, with a view to development if the exploration is successful. A signature bonus may form part of the bid package. The prime objective of the oil company is to discover commercial hydrocarbons, from which it can create profits by subsequent development, and it therefore considers the prospectivity of the block, along with the costs of post-exploration and future development. The invitation to bid may include an outline of the form of bid required along with the fiscal terms applicable to any subsequent development. The bid may require a minimum work program consisting of seismic data to be acquired and a minimum number of wells. For example, 2,000 kilometers of 2D seismic and 4 wells. The bidder is of course at liberty to commit to more than a minimum, and a heavier commitment will improve the competitiveness of the bid. In many regions, especially those operating PSAs, it's normal to add a signature bonus to the work program offered. This is a promise of a cash sum payable by the successful bidder to the government on award of the block. A minimum signature bonus may be indicated in the invitation to bid, but this element of the bid package is again a choice to be made by the bidder. In the early phases of exploration in a basin, when the risks of exploration failure are high, signature bonus are usually tens of millions of dollars. However, once the first discoveries have been made in the area, interest will be heightened, and signature bonuses offered for subsequent nearby blocks can escalate to hundreds of millions of dollars. It's important to realize that this signature bonus, once paid, is a sunk cost and should be considered as part of the cost of exploration. It's not a tax-deductible cost against future revenues. The offer will have a bid deadline, after which submitted bids will be opened by the government or its NOC representative. This may be done in public or more commonly behind the closed doors. The winning bids may be publicly announced or kept confidential, depending on the country. The criterion by which the bids are then compared is normally the total value of the bid package, the combination of the work program plus signature bonus. Of course, where the combined values of competitors are close, the government will need to decide on the relative weighting it places on work program versus cash offered in the signature bonus. The weighting is not always apparent to the bidders. Other considerations that the government will take into account will be the bidder's technical competence, general reputation, and existing working relationships, and any strategic reasons the government may have to encourage particular entrants into the region. The successful bid will result in award of the block, giving the rights to explore. Any signature bonus offered will be cashed by the government. There is often a prescribed sequence of events that dictate the timing of carrying out the work program and declaring a commercial interest in the block, meaning that the company intends to progress beyond the exploration stage and onto appraisal and the possible development of a discovery in the block. In this case, the company will need to convert the exploration rights into development rights in the block. The criteria for a commercial well would be based on production rate during testing of a discovery well, whereas the declaration of a commercial discovery (DCD) would depend on the oil company demonstrating that an economic development can be justified. This will need to pass internal economic screening criteria The government is due a bonus payable at DCD and a further bonus when production from the development starts. Time frames are typically composed on the events. In some cases, there is a requirement to release only a fraction of the block if commerciality has not been declared after a specific period of time. If you want to learn more about the Petroleum Agreements and Bidding, you could do so in my book, Economic Study of Oil and Gas Exploration, which is published on Amazon. Check it out at the link in the description. Please take a second to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and do not forget to also hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and goodbye.